Hey everyone, Leanne here from Kingdom Bloggers. So today I want to talk a little bit more about this latest, or should I say ongoing, continuous, still happening Google update that has wiped out the traffic for so many bloggers. I had someone reach out to me recently and they asked me, are Christian content creators, Christian bloggers being targeted more than, let's say, other niches? So I want to kind of unpack that and also give you some ideas of what you can do moving forward. If you are a brand new blogger trying to jump into this, like, is it even like, should you even do it? But for those of you who have been at this for a while and we're finally starting to see results and got the ixnay on the traffic, like, what can you do moving forward? So I'll share some of the things I'm doing, but also I want to answer that question is if we are being targeted. So this latest update, I think, I don't know, there was one and then there was another one. Google's just kind of having a midlife crisis of sorts. I mean, there's news reports in every major news outlet that I've seen about everybody's upset about it. So, number one, it is impacting just about every niche out there. So, just for that alone, I don't think that we Christian content creators are being targeted. But, when you look at the results, if you Google anything of a Christian nature, say you're looking for Bible verses about something, or, something about prayer, or just really anything, the results are pretty awful. Like the websites that come up in that first top 10 search query, they're not often helpful. They are very old sites that they're just writing like whatever. Also, I've noticed, and this was happening before, but you see a lot of sites ranking in the top 5 positions that are not even Christian sites. We're talking like Women's Day, Forbes magazine, just your mainstream, have nothing to do with Jesus websites. Okay. So I'm not going to dive into that part of it itself, but that's been happening for a long time, well before this last update. So there's that. I mean, the results are horrible. Honestly, many people are moving to other platforms such as Yahoo, Bing, DuckDuckGo, and doing their searches over there, and the results are so much better. So if you are not finding the results that you are hoping for in Google, hop over, just ditch Google and go somewhere else. But let's talk about, are we being targeted? So as Christian content creators, it should be no surprise when we deal with things like censorship, um, our voices being kind of pushed down, content being censored as far as, like Facebook not letting you share things. I mean, y'all, we are Christian content creators. Just like Jesus was persecuted, so shall we be. And so this is just part of the game of being a disciple. Okay. Comes with the territory. And we can't spend all of our efforts and energy focused on that part of it. And that is what I see happening. I see people, Christian content creators, spending, oh my goodness, amounts of just effort and time talking about it. Like, I spent all last week diving into my analytics, trying to figure this, that, and the other. And I'm like, so you spent a whole week diving into something that really was going to bear no fruit. Your job is to continue sharing the gospel. You can't do that if you're taking a time out, spending a whole week trying to figure out what Google's doing. That's kind of, you just scored one for the enemy. Okay. That is what we call spiritual warfare in this environment. The enemy is great in this digital space because it's new to so many of us and we're not completely confident in it. And so every little thing is an opportunity for the enemy to get us off of our mission, which is creating content to help other people hear the good news of Jesus. Okay. That is the mission. Everything else is secondary. So when we're not doing that, the enemy is winning. Okay. So is Google censoring us? Maybe, maybe not. But the enemy is surely utilizing this entire ordeal to get us off our game. So let's not let that happen. This is where we discern what's going on. We learn to acknowledge that this is the enemy utilizing a tactic to keep us from doing what God has called us to do. Okay. So I want to mention though, I'm going to show you my analytics here. Actually, we'll just do that real quick. Let's hop over here and look at my screen. So this is a 1 year, last 12 months, so May of last year to May of this year. of my total site traffic. So as like back October is when everything sort of changed. That was when the first, actually, it was September when the first big update happened. So prior to that, my site was averaging about over between 4 and 5,000 visits every single day. Yes, every day. Here we go, down, 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 down. This was January, it leveled out, and then March, it tanked. Now we are averaging under 1,000, so 800, 700 a day, from 4,500 a day to like 800 a day. Ouch. My prayer site had a similar downturn. So Kingdom is mostly Bible study, just all things Bible study. This one obviously is all things prayer. It was building, the site's like less than 3 years old, so it was really doing great, kind of up here, an average of about 1,500 a day on average. There were some days that had a drop, but on average. And now we are barely trekking along at 300 to 400, maybe 200 there. I did notice an uptick here, but I think that was the top of the month kind of content that I had. So, I mean, prayer stuff, Bible study stuff, and my content is good. It's not my content. I don't write it, but I have very good writers who understand SEO, who also understand how to write content that people will read. So it's not AI generated. It's not spammy. It's like relatable content that obviously have been doing good for a couple of years. Suddenly, so just on that alone, I could begin to think that Google's trying to like censor the message to make it less that people are getting a good version of the gospel. What I find in search results, again, a lot of older websites that really don't have much information on them, a lot of mainstream sites like Women's Day and things like that, they're not there to share the gospel. They're there to get clicks. So I start thinking, well, maybe there's something to this. But then I have a couple of friends who are Christian bloggers, and actually they were former students of mine, and they're still part of my membership. Theirs are on the uptick. I can't show you their analytics because I don't have access to that. But over the last, since all of this started, there's about 3 of them, and their sites are all Bible study all day long. And they are written similar to how mine is written. And theirs is on the uptick. Each month is higher than the month before. So based on that alone, I do not think that Google is intentionally censoring Christian content based on that and the fact that every other niche is being decimated as well. So where do we go from here? I guess that's the bigger question. Let me share my face here. So as I mentioned before, we can spend all day, every day, arguing, contemplating, diving in, trying to figure out, like, I'm not even kidding the amount of people I hear tell me they've spent all day in Google Analytics. They went through and, changed a bunch of stuff on their website to try to make Google happy. And just, I mean, before all this happened, yes, you would learn things and then go update your content to be better. But what you don't want to do right now is suddenly cease all new activity to go back and try to fix something that seems wrong. Like if Google hit your site, then you think you did something wrong. That is no longer the case. Google is just, I don't know what Google's doing. Google, just let's forget about Google for now. You need to continue writing content. You need to continue writing content in the manner that you wrote it before. But here's the but, big but. At this point, we have to start looking at other like traffic alternatives, other ways, and not so much traffic, but other ways to reach people in a real kind of way that they will engage with and so forth. And so that's where social media comes in. Of course, your email list, utilizing tools like Pinterest, things like that. You have to start thinking outside the box. But here's the thing. It's not as simple as I'm just going to share my blog post on Facebook. It's not that simple. Every platform has a purpose. In other words, why people use that particular platform over, say, this one, why people use Twitter over Facebook, why people prefer Instagram over, whatever, Twitter. You have to learn the dynamics of that platform and understand how to tweak your content into a way that people will resonate and engage with it in that platform. What works here doesn't work here. Sometimes you can kind of cross things, but for the most part, each one of them individually, you have to like put it out there in a different format or just something like that. I've been having really great success as of this past month with my Facebook page. I've avoided my Facebook page forever, but I took the time to dive in and kind of learn what people were engaging with there and kind of how to really build a community within that page. And it's working. If you are a Bible study type blogger, you need a private Bible study Facebook group. Like if you literally write content that is like basically helping people understand the different parts of scripture, and maybe you create your own free little short mini studies with questions and synopsis and things like that. A Facebook group is what you need, a private Facebook group, not a page. I mean, you still need a blog page, but in a group, you can do led studies. And in those led studies, you can share the links to where the people in the group download the resources for that study. My friend Megan, she has just hers is just growing, like hers is blowing up. It's crazy how big her group has grown over the last year and a half. So there is a need for it. And the thing is, hers is for women. We don't have any for men. So if you're a male blogger watching this and your focus is Bible study type content, you need to consider starting a Facebook group. Not a group for a bunch of people just to get in there and talk smack about whoever they don't like in the celebrity world, but for you literally to offer spiritual growth, sort of like small groups in churches where you get together and you talk about scripture and how to apply it to your life, not how to use verses to condemn everybody. And I jokingly say that, but these are the things people have said to me when they're like, I've gone looking for some groups for, women or men or whatever. And all I find groups, but there's no studying involved. It's just a bunch of people getting together complaining about stuff. That's not going to be effective. But utilize it as though you were giving a lesson, a Bible study lesson in front of a group at your church. That's how you would lead a Facebook group Bible study. The need for those is so big right now, y'all. People ask me about them all the time. People join Megan's group. There's some, my friend Sandy has one. Hers is growing as well. So this is an alternative source of traffic, but more importantly, it's an alternative way for you to reach an audience and pour into them, because that is what we are called to do. We're not here to just have our blogs get millions of views. I mean, that would be great, but the goal is to reach people with our content. And so figuring out where you might fit in that, and then learning how that part works so that you can deliver your message appropriately so that people will engage with it. So Facebook pages, Facebook groups, of course, Pinterest. Pinterest is a search engine, can be very, very fruitful. I get about on average, 13,000 visitors a month to my Kingdom site from Pinterest. My other two sites are doing very well also. But you got to learn how to use it. You've got to learn how to create the right kind of pins and things like that. There's other platforms out there. TikTok is huge for Bible study. If you didn't already know that, there are huge and really great Bible study communities in there because you go live or you simply record videos where you break down this verse or that verse. And I believe it's up to a 10-minute video is what you can do. You can give a whole Bible study lesson in 10 minutes, y'all. So start thinking beyond the blog to other ways that you can push your message out there that results in traffic. I get traffic from TikTok to my website. The link that I have in my bio links to all my free Bible studies that they can download. So people, when I'm doing a verse on video, the TikTok videos, sometimes I'll say, make sure you go download the free study plan or whatever. And that day I'll suddenly get a bunch of visits to my to my website from TikTok. Instagram, same thing. Instagram's a little harder, but I know a lot of people that have very flourishing Bible study ministries that result in blog traffic coming from their Instagram accounts, but you have to learn how to use it. So that's kind of it. You got to diversify your traffic beyond just organic. You've got to get creative and do your research into what you're offering and how to translate that message into something people will actually engage with. Here's the thing, y'all, people don't want boring Bible study. Social media is about fun. It's about entertainment. It's about, keeping people on their toes. And so if you're just going to be old Betty Bible thumper, then it's going to be very difficult to transition into the social space. So I'll just put it that way. And if anyone gets offended because I said that, this video wasn't for you, but we have to be willing to get out there and try new things, learn how the platform works, speak it in a way that people will actually engage with, and make it fun. Scripture should be fun. People should be, excited to learn about the Bible and how to apply it to their lives and things like that. So that's kind of it. Um, the question that was asked at the beginning, is Google targeting Christian sites? I don't believe they are. Not any more so than any other tech kind of entity is. I mean, we're always being targeted just because we are Christian content creators. But I don't think, at least for now, I do not believe that Google is targeting us any more than it's targeting all other secular bloggers right now. I think we're all being equally targeted because Google is just having a midlife crisis. So that's all for this video. I would love to hear your thoughts. If you are someone in the Christian niche that is not being negatively impacted, I would love to hear. That, so we can share those stories as well. All we hear are the bad stories. Let's share the good ones as well. And of course, if you guys have any other questions, drop them below. Hop over to my Facebook group, and I will answer them over there and help you with whatever else you need. So that's all for today, guys. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend, and God bless.